let's talk about Zabit Magomedsharipov. Now, very few of y'all probably are watching this video who are new MMA fans are probably like, who the hell did I just name? Let me tell y'all, this man was one of the first striking Dagestanis in the UFC a couple years back. I mean, this guy was a real life ninja. Wherever the fight went, he was able to compete. Whether it was striking, grappling, anywhere the fight went, this man was doing some wicked shit no one has ever seen. And what I want to discuss today is how would he match up against the top 5 of the featherweight division right now if he were to come back. And before I get into everything, just wanted to clarify a few things. First one is that there were like reports that Zabit had issues with his diaphragm, his breathing or whatever, and he ended up getting surgery for it. Let's just say it worked, okay? Because I know a lot of people criticize his Calvin Kattar fight that he was gassing out in the third round, which, like, his style is just like that. He's obviously gonna gas out. Bro's running across the cage and kicking and shit, doing all this extra shit. Of course he's gonna gas out. But let's just say the surgery was done, no gas tank issues. He was managing his energy well. Let's just say that. That's the first thing. And the second thing is about ring rust. Let's just take that out of the equation. Let's just act like he comes back today and he's just as good as he was the few years ago before he retired. Same skills, no ring rust in effect. None of that shit. Now, as we take a look at the featherweight rankings right now, I know I just said that I was going to do top 5, but I think I'm going to stretch it to top 10 now because we got some pretty good matchups here. And the first one, top 10, at number 10 is Calvin Kattar. And this is pretty self-explanatory considering this was Zabit's last fight and he ended up winning. Let's just say they rematch. Calvin Kattar has been just going through it. His last fight, he got bodied by a former bantamweight. So, things aren't looking too good for Calvin Kattar, especially after losing to Zabit. And I just think that fight's gonna go exactly how it was going last fight. Let's just say it was 5 rounds. And remember, his gas tank is fine. I think Kattar actually gets submitted here. I think Zabit might submit him in round 3 or round 4 if they were to rematch. So that's pretty easy. Second one up at number 9, Aljamain Sterling. Now it's a fun fact about Sterling and Zabit. They've met before. They trained together and sparred together actually. I think it was on Joe Rogan. Sterling described him sparring Zabit and his shin wrapping around his neck. So that's not a good look at all. This was years ago, and Sterling, let's be honest, he's leveled up, and especially at featherweight, he's looking insane at featherweight, and probably is gonna do his best work in this division. Honestly, I think so. With this matchup, I would probably go Zabit decision. Sterling stand up isn't as good as it should be. Grappling, insane level grappling. But I think Zabit could hang with him in the grappling. Like, and by hang I mean he won't get submitted. I don't think so. And I think there'll actually be a pretty fun grappling match between them. Now at number 8 we got Josh Emmett. This is pretty interesting. Because I don't think Zabit had really fought a person with that one punch knockout power. Straight sheer force. And especially someone like Josh Emmett who just got that goblin energy to him. A straight golem force or whatever you want to call it. I mean, this guy, we talk about jokingly that people get sent to the shadow realm. Nah, Emmett really got some demons with him that'll send you to the shadow realm in that right hand he has. And not terrible on the ground. He's pretty good, pretty solid, I'd say, on the feet. Especially he has that equalizer, that power, which I could definitely see him catching Zabit with. But also one person that was similar to Zabit's style, that unorthodox style, was Yair Rodriguez. And Yair fought Emmett, and we've seen how that played out. Yair, I remember he did get caught and he was rocked a bit, but he was able to weather the storm, and just that unpredictability was getting to Emmett. Shot the takedown, and then I'm pretty sure he got submitted. So just off that alone, I think that Zabit might be able to lock up a submission. Next up, we got Arnold Allen. This would be such a fun matchup. I would pay so much money to see this matchup. It's Arnold Allen, a straight berserker at times, just coming in, violating people. This would be a terrible matchup for Zabit, I think. Even though Zabit might implement more of his trips, his judo, all that, just to get the fight on the ground, which it would probably be his main thing. But I think Allen would give him enough trouble as it is. And my prediction for this fight, so y'all probably just gonna be like, yo, bro's just glazing Zabit, but I'm being honest, yo, Zabit was pretty good, and that's why I gotta go with Zabit decision. I can't see Zabit really submitting him on the ground. I can't really see Zabit knocking him out on the feet, which I think so I see just Zabit mixing it up well and then just getting his decision. And next up, now we're cooking up. Number 6, Brian Ortega. This would be another crazy fight. On the feet, Brian Ortega would just get smacked up. Let's be honest here. Straight cooked up. But on the ground, he has some of the best jiu-jitsu in the game, and somehow always finds a way to win. Not so much last fight. Not so much, but we can't deny this man, Brian Ortega's jiu-jitsu skills. That'll be a big factor going into a fight with Zabit. I'm kind of leaning towards Ortega by submission. I think Zabit might get too wild, throw some spinning shit, be off balance, or give his back for a split second and Ortega jumps on it. Zabit could definitely hold his own against him on the ground and especially on the feet. So, official prediction, you know what? Let's just do Zabit. Let's just do Zabit. I think Zabit gets this done by knockout, actually. I think he just claps up Ortega on the feet, and especially because Zabit was like a 6'1" featherweight. He has that range, and he knows how to use it well. So, got Zabit decision here. Coming in, now we're cracking top 5. Movzar Evolution. Now, Evolution, no one likes this man. Straight blanket fest. Straight crotch fest. No type of finishing abilities in this man whatsoever. So just off that, because on how he irks my soul, I would just say Zabit submits his ass or drops his ass. Because you need some type. I don't think you can outpoint Zabit. He has way too many weapons. He could mix it up well. You're going to need some finishing ability. And Evolution does not possess no finishing ability whatsoever. So, we got Zabit finishing his ass, getting him out of the top 5. Let's just move on. I don't even want to talk about that man no more. Number 4, Yair Rodriguez. The matchup the fans were dying for. Yair versus Zabit. Ninja versus ninja. Straight unorthodox shit going on there. And one hole I see is Yair's ground game. He's pretty solid on the ground, but he makes a lot of mistakes there. Especially, like, Ortega was able to lock his ass up, even though this is Ortega we're talking about. But in general, too, he lacks. But in general, this is a 50-50 fight for me. I'll be honest here, I cannot choose who would win this. This would be such a fire matchup, especially if they keep it on the feet. Just throwing spinning shit for 5 rounds straight. That's if Zabit doesn't gas out. I can't lean towards anyone. I'll give this a 50-50. Now, top 3. Now, this is where things get really interesting. We got number 3 at Diego Lopez. If we're being honest here, Diego got this one. I think Diego goes in there, pressures the shit out of Zabit too, and then no matter where the fight goes, he's good. He's good everywhere, and I would probably say he's better than Zabit everywhere. He has better striking. He's probably a lot better on the ground. I mean, just pure skill wise. The thing that made Zabit so good was his creativity, which caught people off guard. But I just I don't know how he would get it done against Diego Lopez. And Diego has just been mopping the floor with everybody. So I probably say Diego actually finishes him by knockout. Now, number 2, Max Holloway. This is another one. Such a bad matchup for Zabit. It would be such a fun matchup as well, especially if they keep it standing, which I don't think Zabit would want to do. I think he would implement a lot of his trips, a lot more wrestling, and just try to grapple the shit out of him to a decision. But I don't think that's really going to work against Holloway. And that's why I got Holloway decision. Now moving on, number 1, Volkanovski. We've seen Volkanovski's on the decline here, but he's still as dangerous. I think so. He still definitely 100% could hang with the top 5 at featherweights. And I also think it would probably be no different with Zabit, because the thing is with Holloway and Lopez, I could low-key see how Zabit might be able to get it done. But against Volkanovski, I don't know how he would get it done at all. Volkanovski's, especially his striking, is just purely for MMA. His switch stance, when he switches stances, his kicks, the way he closes the range too and mixes it up well. I think he flusters Zabit. I think in the beginning Zabit kind of gets the best of Volkanovski in like the first 2 rounds. Then Volkanovski begins to walk him down into probably finishing by TKO or a decision. Most likely a decision, though. I see it. And then we got the champ, Ilia Topuria. Another terrible matchup because this guy's good everywhere too. But have y'all seen his fight at lightweight where bro got dropped by I think it was a left head kick? And I seen outside the UFC he got dropped with a left high kick as well. So Zabit would definitely see that shit and start spamming left high kicks, and I could really see Zabit catching his ass with one of his wild ass kicks, and potentially either putting his lights out or just dropping or putting him in a bad place. I see this fight going into Poirier's favor by decision. I could definitely see him stopping Zabit, but I think those kicks are going to be too much of a problem, where either Topuria is going to have to take him down, try to submit him, but even there's a whole lot of other issues for Topuria, where I think he might be able to point fight, get him out of there, but I could definitely see Zabit catching him in one of those awkward kicks and putting his lights out. Alright, that's what I think on how Zabit matches up against the top 10 of the featherweight division. Like always, let me know what y'all think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? And definitely, who do you think is Zabit's hardest matchup in the featherweight division? Who do you think is going to be his easiest matchup if he were to come back?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?